Hey, what's up y'all, it's Charlie. On today's episode I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious homemade fruitcake from scratch. Now a fruitcake is any type of cake that is made with candied or dried fruit along with nuts like pecans, almonds, walnuts, and it also can be made with or without alcohol. Now this is my version of the cake. It has just the right amount of candied fruit, nuts, and spices, and in addition to that we take some bourbon whiskey and we add that into the cake batter, and after the cake is baked we create a bourbon whiskey glaze which we're going to brush onto the outsides and into the middle of the cake, so it's pretty strong. This recipe calls for about 20 or more servings. It's a pretty large fruit cake. It's perfect to serve around the holidays like Christmas. It's absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all that you'll need to make your homemade fruit cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need some all-purpose flour, sugar, brown sugar, salt, baking powder, unsalted butter at room temperature, large eggs at room temperature, heavy whipping cream or whole milk at room temperature, pineapple juice or orange juice at room temperature, bourbon whiskey, you can use any other type of rum of your choosing, and along with that you're going to need some vanilla extract, molasses, fruit cake mix, candied green cherries, candied red cherries. You will also need some raisins, some dried cranberries, some chopped pecans, chopped walnuts, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, and ground allspice. And to bake your fruitcake, you would need some Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray and a Fat Daddy or tube pan. Now this is a 15 cup in capacity tube pan. And there we have it. Alrighty, let's get straight to it. So for our dry ingredients here, I have a medium-sized bowl with a mesh strainer. I'm going to add 2 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 heaping teaspoon of nutmeg. That means you could fill it up a little bit past the top if you like, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to go ahead and sift all the ingredients into this medium-sized bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick stir. Alright, let's get started with the preparation of our wet ingredients. So in a separate medium-sized bowl, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of pineapple or orange juice at room temperature, right on in there. And to that, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of bourbon whiskey or any type of rum of your choosing at room temperature. I'll add that in there. 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature. I'm going to add that in there. 2 tablespoons of molasses and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now I'm going to take my whisk and I'm just going to stir all the ingredients together until combined. Alright, let's get started with the preparation of our cake batter. So in our stand mixer bowl fitted with the paddle attachment, I'm going to add 2 sticks of unsalted butter softened and at room temperature, right on in there, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of brown sugar. Now I'm going to start my mixer on a medium-low speed just to get that butter, sugar, and brown sugar incorporated. Then I'm going to turn my mixer up to the highest setting and I'm going to mix this on high speed for 6 minutes. Now at some point during those 6 minutes, you're going to go ahead and stop your mixer and you're going to scrape down the sides of your bowl. Continue mixing that in. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and start my mixer on a medium speed and I'm going to add 4 large eggs in at room temperature, one at a time. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Now we're going to alternate the all-purpose flour mixture and the bourbon whiskey mixture into the batter. Now we're only adding the dry and wet ingredients in here 3 separate times. We're not doing any measurements or anything like that. Alright, now I'm going to add the first amount of the all-purpose flour mixture and the first amount of the bourbon whiskey mixture. I said bourbon whiskey. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Add the second amount of the all-purpose flour mixture and the second amount of the bourbon whiskey mixture. And again, I'm going to mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. I'm going to add the third and final amount of the all-purpose flour mixture and the third and final amount of the bourbon whiskey mixture. And again, I'm going to mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. And our rum cake batter is now ready. Well, not quite. We have one more step to go. Alright, here's an optional step. You can add the fruitcake mix and the green and red candied cherries along with the raisins and the dried cranberries all into one bowl. And from there you can take the bourbon whiskey or any type of rum of your choosing and you could just pour it in there until it fills up past the candied fruit. And from there you can let it soak for about 4 to 8 hours, or you can even do this weeks or even months in advance. And once done, when you're ready to add it into your cake, one thing you have to do is just drain it, and from there you just add it into your cake batter. Alright, here we have our cake batter. So we're going to add 12 ounces, that's about 1 1/2 cups of the candied fruitcake mix right on in there. And to that I'm going to add 1.5 ounces in weight of the green candied cherries, 2 ounces of the candied red cherries, 1/3 cup of chopped pecans, and 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts. Now you can roast the walnuts and pecans in a preheated 400-degree oven for about 3 to 4 minutes if you like. You can do this before you make your cake batter. Now I'm going to take my spatula and I'm just going to fold all of those ingredients into the cake batter. Alright, next up I'm going to add 1/4 cup of raisins and 1/4 cup of dried cranberries. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my spatula and I'm just going to fold those ingredients into the cake batter. And from there our fruit cake batter is now ready. Now you're going to go ahead and spray your tube pan with the Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 325 degrees. Add your prepared fruitcake batter into your tube pan. Using the back of a spoon, spread your fruitcake batter around your baking pan as evenly as possible. To make the batter more even, shake your pan slightly. And tap the bottom of your baking pan with your hand. Alright, now as a little final garnish, have a little bit more of the fruitcake mix. I'm just going to lightly add a little bit of that on top, as much, just a little bit, along with the candied cherries. The candied green cherries. Followed by our raisins. dried cranberries, followed by our chopped walnuts, and the chopped pecans. Now remember y'all, we just adding a small amount of this in here. We're not doing any measurements, anything like that, just a little bit. Now it is ready to be baked. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this into a preheated 325-degree oven on the bottom rack. And I'm going to bake this for 1 hour. Alright, it's been about 1 hour now for our cake. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Now toothpick inserted into the cake should come out clean. Now you're going to let the cake cool for about 3 to 5 hours before removing it out of the pan. Alright, our cake has cooled completely. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip my cake onto this plate here. Turned out wonderfully. Now I'm going to take a cake serving pad and I'm going to place that onto the bottom of the cake, and from there I'm going to flip the cake back over. And there you go. Preheat your fire to medium heat. Alright, let's get started with our bourbon rum glaze. So in this medium sized pot, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm going to just let that melt in there. Alright, next I'm going to add a half a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of pineapple juice, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my whisk and I'm just going to stir all the ingredients together. Now you're going to let this simmer for about 3 minutes. Alright, next up I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. You can use whole milk as well. And 1/4 cup of bourbon whiskey. Now I'm going to take my whisk and I'm just going to stir this until combined. Now you're going to go ahead and turn your fire off. Now I just want to let y'all know that this will be a little bit more stronger than usual. That is normal, okay? And we're going to let this cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, here we have our rum sauce mixture with a pastry brush. Just going to give that a little quick stir. And from there we're just going to brush it onto the top. You can add however much you want to add. I'm also going to brush the rum onto the sides of the cake as well. And make sure you take your pastry brush and get into the middle of the cake as well. Also want to share this with you too. You can take your little flavor injector and just add the rum into the flavor injector like that. And you could take the rum and just inject it into the cake. Now you're going to let the cake soak for about 30 minutes to an hour before serving. Now after about 30 minutes to an hour, what's going to happen is that the cake is going to absorb and soak in the rum. And after that, it is ready to be served. Now for best results, after about 30 minutes to an hour, place it into your refrigerator and keep it in there until it's ready to be served. And also to keep the cake as fresh as possible, you can add some more rum into a cup and take your pastry brush and just continuously brush the entire cake with rum whenever you like. Make sure you keep the cake refrigerated at all times and you'll be good to go. Here is the final presentation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, homemade fruitcake, made from scratch by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. I have an official website for all of my recipes, including for this delicious homemade fruitcake. You can go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's taste test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. That. Woo. Now this is how fruitcake is supposed to be. It has the right amount of candied fruits, nuts, and raisins in it. Because you know, like some people, they put a bunch, they literally overly saturate the cake with candied fruits, nuts, and everything. And you don't really taste the cake. You can really taste the bourbon and a little hint of those spices. It's not overpowering at all. The cake itself is just the right amount of sweetness, not overly sweet at all. And I gotta tell you this, I'm getting a little tipsy and I just only took one bite. For real, y'all, moist, it's a little on the dense side, perfect for the Christmas holidays, absolutely fantastic and delicious homemade fruitcake. So, give the recipe a try. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.